Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you're doing fantastic. Listen, today is more of a video where I simply just talk and you just listen and you just, think, reflect, and let me know what you think. Listen, this video is more about mental health in the crypto scene. I know a lot of you, a good amount of you, at least I could say confidently, are stressing out. And listen, it's normal. It is normal. I've been in this industry for many, many years, and there are even days where I catch myself kind of stressing over a trade or crypto or whatever it is. And I'm like, damn, this is kind of off. And even though I have the experience, I have a lot of knowledge. Even though I still see myself as a student, because I think this is a game that just life in general is just a game that you constantly learn and learn and learn, get new perspective, new data comes in, new everything, right? Even sometimes I have, a couple of moments here and there or a bad day when it comes to stress. Um, you know, Being knowledgeable definitely helps with with maintaining stress when it comes to even just knowing the markets and what is next, even as little as educating yourself, watching videos every single day, taking notes, even joining a community, courses, anything, like literally anything, right? From just a little bit to something is better than nothing, because at least you keep yourself in a loop and at least you get some type of education. It also matters the quality of education and everything, but we don't have to dive into the deep context right now. And then of course it's real life stuff. A lot of you, I assume, just have, normal day-to-day jobs, maybe some type of relationship, kids, family, your own personal problems, your own personal, like, even like, let's just say, demons inside that, only you really know about. So all of that contributes to stress. And you know life in general is not that easy, right? It's constant work. It is constant grinding. It doesn't matter which industry you're in or what you do. You still have to get up and you still have to face, the day, and you have to achieve certain things if you want to be where you want to be, right? That is just how it is. And, for some reason, when it comes to the financial industries and markets and everything, our brains work very, very weird. Even historically, we've had something like Bitcoin. We've had Bitcoin second most overbought at roughly $64,000. Last time around, right? $64,000, which is pretty much, if we actually do it perfectly, it is exactly right over here on this line. Boom, right? So $64,000 was pretty much the second most overbought for Bitcoin historically, and pretty much the most overbought in recent times, because the most overbought was ever way down below. And yeah, think about it. People were literally buying the highs, and literally the most oversold Bitcoin ever was somewhere down here, ladies and gentlemen. Somewhere down here was the most oversold Bitcoin ever has been. So what do you notice? Well, people, right, they bought at the top and they sold at the bottom. So if we take it in terms of the relevant data, it was pretty much historically most overbought right over here at the tops, and it was literally most oversold right here. So psychology is very, very reversed. It is why, that's why sometimes, even just without overthinking, when I see something at a very fantastic price, even though I consider myself a sniper and I want to look at certain candles and certain mini confirmations without over frying my brain and overthinking. It's why when something's really, really low, I just kind of pull the trigger on it, right? I kind of just pull the trigger on it. Even something like Bitcoin, I bought a good amount of Bitcoin pretty much once we kind of got up to here. And once we kind of had this big dip and we started to reverse quickly into like the hourly and the daily time frame, I just bought in. I bought. Right at that point, there was already a good amount of confirmation. It was weeks and weeks worth of confirmation. I knew, the purpose of this candle down here. It was like the liquidity sweep, right? But even with altcoins, right? Even with something like altcoins, you can't always be that person that wants the most literal premium price, because you're most likely not going to be the person that sells at the literal top. So even something like render, right? It doesn't matter which coin. If I see render fall down to like 276, 250, I'm buying it. I'm buying it, right? Even if it falls down to like $2, I'm buying more, right? My plan personally, obviously depends how much money I have at the time and everything. But let's say I bought, just say I put in $200 at $7 for render, right? If I'm looking to be buying cheaper, let's say I was buying kind of at this support area, right? Let's say I believe that, it was going to reverse around this support. I maybe would have put in like $500, right? To get it, I go way more aggressive the way when it goes lower, right? So we would have had a better average. And now if it goes down to even like 260 right over here, I'm gonna put in like 700. And if it goes down to $2, I'll put in like $1,000. So that is my personal plan, right? I'm giving examples. Anyone can literally do this, even on a smaller scale. Like even with technically $10, you could buy like $1 worth here, $2 worth here, $3 worth here, and then $5 at the bottom, right? At the $2 market. You could literally do this with any amounts of money. You don't have to literally do it with hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. So that's my personal plan. And I kind of like that, right? Because what a lot of people do is when things start pumping a lot, they start over leveraging at the highs. And then when it kind of goes lower and lower, you know, some people might put just a little bit more to get a better average, but some people actually end up selling, which ultimately that's always bad, right? I mean, I know logically we all know that, but like I just mentioned with Bitcoin, that logic doesn't always make logic doesn't always apply when it comes to making financial decisions. Okay, that's just how it always is, just how it always was, and that's how it always will be with most people. Okay, people also, they chase a quick pump, right? They chase a quick pump. So when they start seeing things break out, that's why they're not afraid to put in that money because, they have days or weeks of confirmation of green. And then, they buy, it might go good for a little bit and then starts going sideways, red, and then it goes really red. And then they always think everything's a scam, but it's just more impulsive decisions. And yeah, it's just lack of education and making the right choices sometimes, which I'm not here to blame anybody, right? Everyone has to go through their own journey, their own cycle. um you know Everyone's life experiences are different. Not everyone has the same amount of time and everything to put into the markets and just understanding. So I'm not here to blame anybody, but it still doesn't take away the fact that that's just a reality for most people, which is why they get wrecked super super heavily. I talked about it in some other videos, and I'll still talk about it just a little bit to close out this video. Look, when it comes to altcoins, people, right, we still have a couple percent to go where I believe we will crash out pretty heavy and start reversing, which is roughly the 68 to 71% zone, all the way up here, which I've been talking about for pretty much a year now, even more than a year. So we saw how, altcoins kind of pumped a couple months ago, kind of nice when we dropped from, 61.5% to let's just say 54.5%, which is what, roughly 7% drop, right? We saw altcoins 2, 3, 4, 5x, even like, mainly the 3 to 4x zone. We saw coins go absolutely diabolical, dropping 7% in dominance. Now imagine what happens when, we go all the way up here and then we crash out, go sideways, kind of the same thing here, and then go down another, 15 to 35%, right? Well, probably more like probably 22.5 to 37%. I'm just giving like a very big range. I'm just being generous right now. But, altcoins are going to go crazy. And this is why I've talked about, you want Bitcoin cycle to kind of continue longer so Bitcoin dominance can go higher, so Bitcoin can go higher, so an altcoin season will be really, really crazy. That's kind of what you want, okay? And I still stand by it. So remember, people, the data still suggests an altcoin season is around the corner in a couple months. Remember, don't look at you get educated every day, but don't look at your portfolio every day. Make sure you have a plan of how much you're going to be buying, dollar cost averaging, sell plan. You know, Even if you want to spend a little bit more extra money, make sure to join a community. You guys are always welcome to join ours. And just remember, your mental health comes first. Whether or not you're at 10 out of 10 stress level or 0 out of 10, what's going to happen is going to happen, right? You're not in control of this. You're simply riding the wave. And I can simply just recommend, using techniques, focusing more on life, focusing more on the food you consume, the social media and everything to lower those stress levels at a consistent, and have that consistent low basis. So yeah, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.